My name is Paul Woolever. I'm the owner of Pinellas Power Products, and this is my extended runtime fuel kit for generators that run the RATO 79.7cc engine. Those would include the Predator 2000, the Powerhorse 2000, the Wen 2000, the Wen 2250, and several other small generators. The RATO 79.7cc is a very well-known, very popular engine. It's actually a copy of Yamaha's 79.7cc engine, which they use in the Yamaha 2000. At any rate, my kit comes with everything you will need except for the fuel tank itself. I do not include the fuel tank itself because different people are going to want different sizes of fuel tanks, from 3 gallons all the way up to 100 gallons or so. I strongly recommend the Flow and Go Fuel Caddy. It's a 14-gallon tank, and I've even got a link to it on my website on the product page for this. Incidentally, if you are watching this video on YouTube and you want to contact me, please do not attempt to contact me through YouTube. I do not monitor YouTube or any chat groups or chat rooms or anything like that. I simply don't have the time. If you go to the description section below this video, you'll see where there's a link to my website, and it'll take you to my phone number and to my email address, and I answer my email regularly throughout the day, and I've always got my phone on me. The next thing is, the most common question I get asked is, if I install your kit, can I still use my stock fuel tank? And the answer is absolutely yes. I do not go removing original features in order to add my features. My features should add to a generator's already stock ability and never remove from it. The kit comes with a decal that explains the operation in case you forget what you're about to see in this video here. In addition to all the parts that were installed in the installation instruction video, which if you are on my website you may have already seen that. If not, I assure you, or I encourage you to watch the installation instruction video. But at any rate, all the parts that are installed there, plus a Yamaha quick disconnect fitting that will be installed in the remote tank. If it's a portable marine tank, it screws right on. If you're going to be using the Scepter Flow and Go 14-gallon fuel caddy, which I strongly encourage, it's got an instruction video at the bottom of the page on my website that shows you why I like the fuel caddy and how to use it. The next thing that it'll have in the kit that you did not install yet will be a Yamaha fuel hose, and it'll be 3 meters long, which if your brain works in American, that's about 9.5 feet. The fuel hose will have a prime bulb, and there's an arrow on the prime bulb that shows the direction of fuel flow, and that would be from the remote tank to the generator. Pretty straightforward and simple. So the first step would be to connect the tank end to the remote tank. Make sure that the arrow on the prime bulb is pointing in the direction of fuel flow, or from the tank to the generator, and then connect the other end to the generator. Then you come back. I cracked this loose just to make sure that there wasn't any pressure so it didn't spray me in the face when I hooked this on. But at any rate, you would go to your remote tank and make sure that the fuel vent is in the open position, and then you would go to the generator and make sure that the vent on the generator is in the closed position. And now, because there are so many different generators that use the RATO 79.7cc engine, and there are several different slight variations that are unimportant. However, the one variation that is important is that some of them have an on-off switch right on the front of the generator, usually right below the fuel selector valve, that is on-off for the spark. So you can have the fuel in the off position and still have spark turned on. The purpose of this which I totally agree with, and I show you how to modify them all to make it work that way, is we'll say that you're running your generator and then you're going to store it. You want to be able to shut the fuel off and leave the spark turned on so that the generator will run most of the fuel out of the float bowl. It also is necessary so that you can have the fuel for the stock tank shut off and still have spark so that it can run off the remote tank. And that's what this line is for. And I show you in great detail in the installation instruction video where to put this mark. And this mark right here, the long line, is fuel off but spark on. And that would be for the generators that simply have this one knob. If they've got a switch, then obviously you'd put the switch in the on position and shut the fuel to the off position. At any rate, to start this generator, you'd put the fuel all the way to the start or choke position. You'd pump the prime bulb several times to transfer fuel from the remote tank into the generator and get all the air out of the hose, because keep in mind when you first get this, everything's full of air. There is no gasoline in it. Once the system is primed, in order to start it, you pull on the start rope. I'm not going to actually pull on the start rope and start it because we're in a small room. I've got it in a small room because it's just easier to control background noises. So at any rate, you would pull on the start rope to start it. Once it's started, you would slowly turn it to the position where the fuel is off and the spark is still on, which would be this line here. If your generator has the on-off switch down here, then you'd shut it all the way to the fuel off and leave this switch in the on position. And that way it would be running off of my remote tank. Incidentally, the remote tank and the generator should be at the same height. You'll notice that I've got them both up on stands. I strongly recommend that you put them both on the ground, because if they're both on the ground, neither one is going to fall any further. Because I use a fuel pump in my kit, it is not necessary to put the fuel tank above the generator. If you have the fuel tank above the generator, then it's going to gravity flow. If the generator stalls for any reason, you may have gasoline running all over a hot engine, and I do not encourage that under any circumstances. That's why I use a fuel pump. If the generator stalls for any reason, the fuel pump stops pumping fuel, which makes it immensely safer. As I said earlier, if you've got any additional questions or anything like that, if you look in the description section of this video, it has a link to my website, and you can call me or email me. I check my email repeatedly throughout the day, and sometimes late in the evenings and sometimes on weekends. At any rate, contact me through my website. I encourage you to go to the website and look at all the details on this product. It's got a lot of written information on it. As I stated earlier, it's also got the installation instruction, the demo video, fine-tuning and troubleshooting video, and a good video that explains why I don't do fuel cap systems and why they're dangerous. If you need any more information, do not hesitate to call me or contact me in some way, and I thank you for your time.